Hello, Internet friends. Judy Copenbarger here. Today I wanted to talk about something that affects more than 90% of us hardworking citizens. No, it's not whether or not you should binge watch the last season of Game of Thrones, but rather something that can protect us from the financial winter when it does come, and I can assure you that it always does. We're talking about ways to save money on a tight budget. You're probably thinking, how in the world am I going to save money on such a tight budget? However, some of the world's most successful and wealthy people have started out with little or no real budget to save money. But the difference between these individuals and others is that they understood if they save even the littlest bit, that this can be parlayed into potential other money-making opportunities. And as we mentioned in some of our other videos, there has been this horrible stigma for years to not talk about money, that we shouldn't do it. And we should somehow magically know what it is and how to treat it. Well, we don't. And yes, there are ways you can save money on a tight budget. Here are some ways you can really take the first necessary steps to save money on even the tightest of budgets. Number 1, change your television or internet provider. I know it sounds ridiculous at first because, hey, we all want to catch up on our favorite shows in our downtime, but internet and TV providers are always in competition with each other. Much of the time, there are only 2 or 3 providers that service your area, but they are in fierce competition for you. And if you call them up and threaten to cancel and say you're paying too much, many times they will transfer you to a client retention department where they're trying to offer you a deal for a year or 2 that is not advertised to the normal public. And if that doesn't work, then just switch providers altogether and get internet-only service that you aren't paying for the 3-in-1 or triple pay services, for useless phones, TV channels that you would never watch, and cut your entertainment access bills up to 50%. You'll definitely have a few dollars each month to start saving toward investments that will make you money. Number 2, look at your food and grocery bill. As crazy as it sounds, most people don't really look at their grocery bills. Most of the time, they just try to catch the scanner in an error, or even worse, they just buy the items they think might be on sale. But did you know the best day to go shopping for groceries is on Wednesday? Grocery stores strategically run one-day sales on Wednesdays to compensate for the lull in business for the week. And sometimes the one-day prices have limited stock or are advertised on week-long flyers that arrive at your house the day after the one-day sale, which is ridiculous. That said, you should do a majority of your grocery shopping on Wednesdays and then visit 2 or 3 locations to find the best deals on the items that you want to buy. You'd be surprised that if you look at your bill a week that you don't shop during the middle of the week, that you actually paid more for those certain items. And to add to the food bills monthly, you should try to limit going out to eat. Not only to save money, but if you cook your own meals, you'll actually know what's in your food and that it's fresh and natural, and better for you than any fast food or quick order restaurant. A restaurant will serve up at 150% the cost, over what it would cost you if you made a variation of the meal yourself at home. And last but not least, at number 3, find some creative ways to cut back on the biggest of expenses. I know it sounds easier said than done, but with a little creativity and tenacity, you can slice some of your largest costs up to 50%. For instance, is your car payment too much? Solutions exist to refinance through a local lender or credit union, or even third-party lenders that are not a part of the dealership lender's pool. If that's not an option, then maybe you can get out of your lease by listing on a site like Swap a Lease, or even personally sublease your automobile to someone you know that can make the payment easier. And you can get another car at a much smaller payment until things get into a more financially positive place. Now, what about rent or home expenses? You might think that you can't cut these down, but you can. Do you have an extra room in your apartment that you could rent? Is that room full of items that can go somewhere else? Or is it a computer or office room that really just houses a computer? Then You can take these activities with you to a coffee shop and play games on their free Wi-Fi, or even work remotely. So you can rent out that extra room to someone that can take away almost 1/3 of your home expenses immediately. Now, that's not to say that everyone can do this, but sometimes having to live next to a popular strip mall or the happening part of town at the cost of more than 50% of your monthly income is not going to put you on a path to personal stability. Maybe it's the best time to move a few minutes away from these areas, since public transportation is immediately more accessible. We have ride sharing, we have Uber, we have Lyft. Because most of the time you're only going to be out on the town a night or two a week. So why pay for that access every single day? Now, I know that not all of these tips can be easily applicable to everyone's life and circumstances, but I will say that we can apply at least one of these techniques to start us on a path to being able to save something on a tight budget. But then we have the question of, what do you do with the money you're saving? Well, we will save that for another video. But to learn more about personal finance for not just surviving, but also striving and creating a less stressful life of love and happiness, then please take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell. And once you decide how useful this was for you, or potentially a friend or family member, please feel free to share it. And remember, true abundance is in your control. Again, I'm Judy from judycopenbarger.com. And until next time, God bless, and thank you for watching.